So just as I was actually editing today's video, which is a Jurassic Park survival video, I had to quickly stop and put everything down because 4 brand new images of Jurassic World Rebirth just released. Today is a very busy day for me, so inconveniently, this has come out at literally one of the worst times for me this week, work-wise. But either way, we knew something was going to happen via Entertainment Weekly because we knew that they did confirm that we will see some exclusive new images of Jurassic World Rebirth in the coming weeks. What I didn't anticipate is that we'll see them in literally 3 days' time from that tweet. So today, of course, we're going to be breaking them down. We're going to be discussing everything that we can see in these 4 brand new images, and hopefully it should be very good. Alongside these brand new images, we also got a brand new article, which we will discuss later in the video, but I think you're mainly here for the images, so that's what we're going to begin with. The very first image that we have right here shows 3 of our main characters for the brand new movie. We have Jonathan Bailey right there as Dr. Henry Loomis, we have Scarlett Johansson as Zora Bennett, and we have, for some reason, I can't pick out the actor's name in my head. I know who he is, I just can't pick it out in my head for some reason. And I am slightly confused considering one of the previous behind the scenes shots had this exact same character and it was confirmed to be Mahershala Ali, but this doesn't look like Mahershala Ali from the other image that we got regarding him with, you know, the flare and everything. So I'm a little bit confused. I can't bring the actor's name to my head. I'm sure people in the comments can help me here. But yes, they are strolling through a jungle. Not even just a jungle, a massive swamp of some kind. And may I just say, it looks amazing. It really does. The whole swamp vibe, the feel, the action feel, and what you can really tell about these characters is what field they are in. So we have Zora Bennett and also the other character who are, I think they were friends, I think they were mentioned to be friends, but they work in like these covert military operations. Whereas Dr. Loomis right here, he actually is a paleontologist. So you can see in his clothes that he is more dressed like a paleontologist instead. So it's very confusing why he is leading the way. You would think somebody with more military action would be leading the way instead. Either way, this looks fantastic, and considering this is a swamp and the big rumours that a Spinosaurus should be returning in Jurassic World Rebirth, I think this might be our very first time that we might get to see the Spinosaurus return in the Jurassic franchise. It's been a long time, but it looks good, it looks good. But what I notice in the background is that they seem to be carrying something with them. Now, it's very hard to make out exactly what this looks like. It seems like it's some kind of container of some sort, like an embryonic container. Maybe this is where they hold the gun, or maybe the darts to take the DNA from the dinosaurs, which we know that they need to do in the movie. That's probably my best guess, but the main takeaway is that they're walking through not even just knee-deep water, but chest-deep water with Dr. Loomis right there. To me, this seems like it could be the possibility for the Spinosaurus to be appearing. In the next image, we get a shot of Scarlett Johansson's Zora Bennett, and I think this is probably our best shot of Zora Bennett for, I think, the whole time. The other images we have, she's literally just in the long grass. That's it. That's all we've seen of her. So this is nice to see a full body image of her, to look at the outfit that she is wearing, and it does resemble somewhat similar to the outfit that Ariana Richards was wearing in the original Jurassic Park. But in this scene, she's taken a case of some kind. Since we know that they need to take DNA from the dinosaurs, I can only presume that this case contains the dinosaur DNA, and we also have a military vehicle in the background as well. It could look like the one that we saw in leaked images just a few weeks ago or last week. It's got that red colour scheme with a little bit of grey on the front, so it looks awfully similar. Now, there's not really too much to take away from this at all. I mean, she's got her military vest on, she's got a case and everything. But in the top right, now I might be thinking a bit too much about this, but in the top right, it seems something is rather odd, something's a bit off. You have the foliage in the background which is blurred out, but then you have this really dark thing that's like moving across the screen. To me, this kind of looks like feathers of some kind. Now, I'm not going to get too into it because honestly, this might just be placebo because I'm going crazy. We haven't seen any dinosaurs for this dinosaur movie yet. But either way, it just looks like it could be a dinosaur wing or feather or a leg of some kind. But I'm not going to confirm anything. This might just be playing on my mind right now. In the third image, we finally confirm my stress for some reason. We do have Mahershala Ali's character here. So whoever said that the Mahershala Ali character in the previous image must have got that character completely wrong. Either way, it's nice to see that we have more characters here in the long grass. Now, for some reason, I think I'm just too excited. I can't remember these actors' names. The guy on the right looks familiar, the guy on the left looks familiar. I know I read about them, I know that they are here, and I know they're in the cast list, but for some reason I just can't remember their name. Either way, I'm sure that you guys know exactly who I'm talking about looking at this image, but the long grass returns again for, I think, the 5th image now. They really love this scene. This scene better hold up to what it is. But here we see our 3 main cast characters looking up in delight, joy, excitement even. And since they are more relaxed, they don't have guns out, I think it's safe to say what this could be. It's a sauropod. We can confirm that there will be a sauropod in Jurassic World Rebirth. We suspect that it's a titanosaur that will be the main dinosaur, one of the main dinosaurs that they need to take DNA from, and I can only presume this is exactly the scene where this takes place. You know, it's got the long grass, the dinosaur doesn't really care too much for it, they're all looking up in excitement. Every single long grass image we have seen, the characters are looking upwards. So I think it is safe to say that this could be a sauropod of some kind. Either way, it's nice to see some brand new faces in the movie. We know that there will be some kind of shipwreck, like a family will get lost on this island, and the missions operation team that Zora Bennett is leading will find them as well. So I can only presume that eventually, whilst they are going through this mission, they come across these characters and we get to see them in the long grass scene as well. But as we know in this franchise, long grass does often lead to trouble. And in our final brand new image, we have Dr. Loomis here with Scarlett Johansson's Zora Bennett. Now, taking a look, they are clearly in some kind of, I think, safe haven vehicle of some kind. I can only presume that this is on mission, during the mission. And it might be similar to the Lost World Jurassic Park, where they had the RVs and they were staying in the RVs for protection from the dinosaurs and to sleep and everything like that. So this is what I presume that this building or vehicle exactly is. But the most interesting part about this is the expression on Jonathan Bailey's face. He looks angry. He looks disappointed. It's kind of like that scene where he's saying, "Why didn't you tell me about this? Why don't we know about this?" And Zora Bennett is kind of looking off like, okay, he's caught me out in this lie. That's kind of what I see here in the facial expressions. But more noticeably, Dr. Loomis is holding something. Not too sure what this is. It's orange of some kind. I think it's got the numbers 102 maybe. So it could be some kind of prison gear, but at the bottom it looks more like a rescue raft flotation device. I don't know. It looks like something like that. But he's clearly holding that and he's got his arms stretched around his body. So maybe he has a cut there or something. I don't entirely know. All I know so far is that it seems like this might be the thing that's making a turn in this movie. Like they discovered the freaky thing that we don't want to talk about based off the rumors and leaks. But it's the thing that has been hidden from the world for decades in the synopsis. Maybe this is the turning point in the movie where they find out what this is, and Dr. Loomis is not happy with Zora Bennett whatsoever. That's just what's going on in this scene from my perspective. Feel free to go down to the comments and leave your thoughts down below. But these are the 4 brand new images, but it doesn't stop there as we do have an article to read through as well. So in this article by Entertainment Weekly, Gareth Edwards does confirm that this movie has a very primeval feel to it. Now I don't know if he meant the pun intended, but we all know the primeval dinosaur series that took place on ITV back in the late noughties, I think. So it's a nice little pun and reference right there. But he does go ahead and confirm that he is now allowed to say this, now that we're on the other side of it. But we shot in rivers and these mangrove swamps. When we were scouting them, we saw poisonous water snakes, massive ones that we had to catch. We kept it quiet from the actors as they spent the whole day wadding through the same area. And there were giant spiders that were poisonous and stuff on the edge of trees. You just wouldn't point them out if you saw them. Just keep going. However, for the scenes that they shot on the ocean, they then went to Malta. The filmmaker Gareth Edwards then mentions some water stunts that they needed to accomplish in a tank, but they filmed a boatloads on the Mediterranean Sea. It's probably the last film I ever shoot in the ocean because it was very difficult, he admits. I'm glad we persevered, but I think everybody and all the actors went through a crazy journey as the characters in the film. These very physically demanding, sometimes near-death experiences that had these high reward factors if you manage to succeed. And then they go on to confirm that Jurassic World Rebirth kinda goes back to basics as we did cover just a few weeks ago by the actor himself, Gareth Edwards. But this is where the article starts to get a little more interesting. I can't speak for Universal, but it did feel like a new trilogy in a way. I'm not sure what their plans are, but it felt like the beginning of a brand new chapter in this franchise. To me, it's a giant love letter to Steven Spielberg and his earlier films. There are moments in this movie that remind me very much of Jaws. It's like a little greatest hits of all those aspects of his films that I loved growing up as a child. It's essentially a little adventure odyssey across this island, a survival story, really. So right there, whilst he doesn't speak for Universal, and I think that is fair to say, I think we need to see how good Rebirth does at the box office, it seems like there is a possibility that a brand new trilogy, just like what we reported on just a few years ago, is happening for the Jurassic World franchise, and that's fantastic news, honestly brilliant news, but again I think it does come down to how Jurassic World Rebirth performs at the box office. We do know that Jurassic 8 is supposed to be in theatres maybe 2028, 2027, depending on how good this movie does, but it seems like they are working on a new movie already, and this just further adds icing to the cake. Furthermore, whilst this isn't a direct quote, they do confirm that these creatures are now dying out across the world. So all of those people who said calm down, they never said anything of the sorts. Right there, they do confirm that these creatures are now dying out in this world. And then the rest, they just talk about things that we've already seen before, so it's not too worth going into it. However, we get a little bit more of an information about Zora Bennett and Duncan Kincaid here, and they basically confirm that Johansson's character has a sibling-like bond with Duncan Kincaid, who is her most trusted ally who captains their team's ship. He's kind of like the hub of our movie. Bailey is a paleontologist, Dr. Loomis. He's out of his depth in terms of military element of the mission. He's very comfortable on digs and expeditions, but not the life and death risks that Kincaid and Zora are getting into. And once again, we get more Jaws reference here, where Edward says that the trio's dynamic is close to the ones that we saw in Jaws in the 1975 Spielberg classic. It's that kind of triangle between three different overlapping characters, he says. There's a lot of fun between the three of them that really popped out to me. It's less of a love triangle and much more of a competitive who's the alpha in the group kind of way. To me, I kind of like that because that means people take risks. It sees how far they're willing to go. It makes the movie a little bit more exciting because they will put their lives just to prove a point. They'll put their egos as the main thing, and I kind of like that aspect in movies because it just shows that nearly anybody could die. And now we actually confirmed the names that I was thinking of. I knew I had these names, I just got the letters mixed up. But we have Rupert Friend on the left and Bashir Sylvian on the right. I knew it was Bashir, but I was thinking of the footballer Bashir Humphreys, and I couldn't remember if that was his name or not. But just to get a little bit more information, Edward confirms exactly who these characters are. That guy walking through the wetlands in a white collared shirt, that's Martin Krebs, aka Rupert Friend, a representative of Big Pharma, on site to ensure his company's interest. Who this big pharmaceutical company is, we don't know, but it could be Biosyn or maybe InGen. But even he, Edward points out, isn't the cliched corporate figure. Rupert's got a little bit of James Bond about him, he says. But this is where the plot details come in just a little bit more about Jurassic World Rebirth. The curveball to the story written by the original Jurassic Park writer David Koepp is that Zora's team receives a mayday signal from a civilian boat that capsizes after an attack. So, on top of pulling off all of this dangerous mission, the crew now have to worry about the safety of the Delgado family, played by Manuel Garcia Rulfo, Luna Blaise, David Lacuno, and Audrina Miranda. Obviously, it all goes wrong and becomes a situation that you enjoy watching as a Jurassic fan, Edward remarks. Once you're in the adventure, the film doesn't let go until the end credits. The enjoyment of it is in the moment-to-moment chase, escape, scare, horror, curveballs, in the whole plotting of the set pieces and the dinosaur moments. That right there is something we didn't know previously. We did not know that they get a mayday signal about this civilian boat, so that's added a little bit more to the plot and is quite interesting actually. They don't just randomly stumble upon this. But with such a large cast, the last time they went exploring through jungles with a large cast didn't really go too well. The Lost World Jurassic Park, and more noticeably, Jurassic Park 3. So in my opinion, I have a feeling that not all of these characters are making it out alive. Obviously, I assume the kids will, because I don't think we'll see Universal killing off kids in their movies, but it just gets me all excited. The prospect of the Spinosaurus returning, the Jurassic Park 3 vibes, this whole story, loads of people, there's definitely going to be some untimely deaths in this movie. But just to reassure many people who love the old movies but not the Jurassic World movies, Edwards is on a mission of his own to capture the essence of what he loved about Spielberg's Jurassic Park. A crucial piece of cinema that had an immediate impact on Edwards' career as a filmmaker. And this is what he had to say. Jurassic Park did lead the way with the computer graphics, but I feel like we got lost along the way with the arms race to spectacle, he elaborates. Jurassic actually only had just a few dozen effects shots in it, and it's such a powerful film. So it was trying to go back to all of those tricks and ideas that tease the audience, that creates suspense and tension that gets you on the edge of your seat. I just wanted to create that feeling I had when I was young of being in awe of these things. So whether you love Jurassic Park, hate Jurassic Park for some weird reason, whether you love Jurassic World or hate Jurassic World, we can all rest assured that Edwards has gone out there, made this movie with the intent of replicating something that Jurassic Park did. Obviously, it probably won't be as good as Jurassic Park, but hopefully it'll capture that feeling that we all had when we watched it for the very first time. And that right there covers all of the brand new images, the brand new plot details that we got. It's an exciting time to be a Jurassic fan. I can't wait to see a lot more from this franchise because I feel like, with that tease that a new trilogy is possible, anything can happen. We've just got to wait and see. If those rumours that we talked about last week are true, maybe the next Jurassic World movie might not happen, but we have to wait and see. Either way, I'm excited. This whole article makes me more relieved about the movie. I was worried about it because, yet again, another island, another rescue mission, another operation. It just feels like you're reinventing the wheel over and over again. But something about this just has a different feel about it, a different vibe, and I'm all for it. I'm very excited. If you're all for it and very excited, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, as we aim for 250,000 subscribers. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed. Comment your thoughts about the 4 new images and the brand new article down in the comments below. But most importantly, make sure you're all staying safe out there, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye. Hello, hi, you. Did you enjoy the video? Just a little reminder to press that like button and also subscribe. I just want to thank my Patreons for this month on screen right here, as giving me that little extra support really does go a long way. But anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.